Hello, everyone. First off, disclaimer. We shall see how today goes. There have been some little tech gremlins behind the scenes. I had a hard time even setting up today's live stream. I was getting some weird little things. So, we're just going to see what happens. Hello, everyone. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Face, card making space. Live, unscripted, unfiltered, pure chaos, as always. And yeah, unpaid intern sitting in the corner.
That's me.
He's gonna be helping. Today's literally gonna be chaotic. Y'all, I have a disaster going on. And trying too many different things and new products, and then I went down a complete rabbit hole because I started organizing. Before the why? I don't know why. Why was I doing this? I don't have time for this right now. So, things are a little bit nuts. Oh, you did change. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, who is that? Who's the? Yeah. Well, good. That works. Yes, the unpaid intern. That's funny.
I tried the unpaid intern first, but it was taken.
Of course, it was taken. Well, you're my unpaid intern. You're not nobody else's unpaid intern.
No.
He's my unpaid intern. Anyway, things are just bonkers. And yeah, I got a mess going on, and we're just going to see what happens. So, right now, things are working. I have links to what I plan on using. I have a rough idea in my head. Like, we're going to see. I didn't really get a chance to prep nothing because for those that are, that follow me regularly and stuff, last month I was horrifically sick for like 3 weeks. And yeah, I have boxes piled up and new releases and things I need to deal with and organizing, blah, 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 all the stuff. It is what it is. But today is the 5th of the month, which means new waffle flour. And I'm excited about this release. I'm excited about every new release, let's be honest, But this release specifically is the 3rd. I think that's what they call it. I think it's the 3rd anniversary of yes. April 2026 release celebrates the 3rd anniversary of the Postage Collage collection. That's what I forgot to do. I knew there was something. I have a playlist. I'm going to find it. Because I'll get to it before the unpaid intern. Because he's distracted right now and he's not even paying attention. That's why you're unpaid, sir.
Yeah. I don't even have it open, so.
Good job. Good job. Anyway.
I refreshed all my windows.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So, 3 years ago, Waffle Flour released the first of the Postage Collage collection. And if you are new to it, it's going to be a little overwhelming because there's a lot. Because in the last 3 years, it went from like one little die set and like a couple little stencils to... There's a lot. There is a lot. There's a ton stencils and stamps and dies in different sizes, and there's a lot. That said, they do have like downloads and stuff. And if you go, I have it linked the April release. If you scroll down a bit, there's a couple different. There's one thing. It says the Postage Collage checklist for year 3. It's in there. So if you go to that, you can. Yeah, there's a link because it says like add to cart. It's free. It's a free download. So you can download it and print it off. And it's got like, so you can like start checking things off, everything's organized. So that's one thing, which is super, super helpful because there's a lot. So there's that checklist. And then the other thing they have, because I was, scrolling through making my links for today. If you scroll down a little further, there's the one that says Postage Collage themed stencil idea sheets. That's a good one too. I'm going to have to print all those off because there's like, it gives like color combos and they've got photos and examples and all the things. That's there too. And Yeah, because there's a lot. There's a lot of product. There's a lot of different things, and I can do a little bit of, I'll do a little bit of overview, but we're going to keep it a little bit simple because, y'all, my brain is mush. But those things exist, and they help because there's a lot. There's a lot of products, a lot of add-ons. Do you need all the things? No. You can pick and choose and do what you want. And then the other thing too, and I'll just mention that because every once in a while someone comes out of the woodwork and it's just like, I don't like the postage theme. Cool. You don't have to. But the cool thing with it is you don't have to do it postage theme. Like the stencils, I'm going to use the one die set, but there's another die set that just does like squares, you know? You don't need to use the postage edge. You don't need to make it look like stamps. You can just use what you want and just have little blocks of scenes, colors, whatever. Options. So, sneaks about coming. Yeah, I think there might be some sneaks in one of those downloads of future, because they did that last year too. Like, kind of giving a heads up of some of the things they were like some of the themes they were planning on releasing down the road, and I'm sure there's going to be more, but there's already a literal ton, and they keep coming up with more, and it blows my mind because it's like I never would have thought of that. Anyway, so that's all of that. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, oh, and I think this works. I did it. So that's a little gift with purchase. This little square postage die. And there's a little stencil. And I'll show it. I'll just show it. I don't have like a sample. But I may... And this one, what I'm going to say, take with a grain of salt. Because I'm not 100%. And I didn't have time to check. But this little freebie, this little square, I think down the road, there's going to be more. Just like this, just different themes. So it's kind of like, oh, same with the regular postage collage. It's like, oh, you start with the little basic. So in this case, this little square, and then there'll be more to add to it down the road. I think that's their plan. So, yeah. And then let me go back to me. So that little freebie, and also I'm using like multiple screens, you guys. Like I said, I'm trying to do. So thank you, Son, for the super chat. I very much appreciate it. What was I going to say? My brain stopped. I don't remember. I got distracted. I literally have like 7 screens in front of me. This is nuts. Oh yeah, the gift of purchase, it said right on the little graphic, and I'll show it again like at the end. There's no code or anything. As long as you meet the threshold, which is at least $25 from the April release, it pops up like automatically, or like pops in your cart, whatever. So there's that. Hoping they come out with more for the oval postage die that came out with the bacon. They might. I'm not sure with that one, because there have been a few little shapes. There was a little triangle one with a moth that came out like in the fall, and then yeah, we had that little oval one with the cake slice. There was a round one, and then there's a square. So again, options, which like I said, I'll do a quick little overview. You guys, I have too much stuff. I have too much stuff. I do. I really do. Okay. Let's get to, so that's separate. This. Okay. That's you one each month. Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do from now on, or like for however long with Waffle Flower, is because like every month they do a little gift with purchase. You know, it's a little die set, a little stamp, whatever. I think they're going to do this sort of like a theme continuously, like to keep adding to it, which I'm here for it. And again, you can just use it as is. It's really cute. I have it, like I said, I have it here. Where'd I put it? I don't know. It grew legs. I just had it. Man, oh, there it is. Okay. I can actually show it. Let me put the screen down and we'll get to the actual, doobly. Okay. Ignore everything else at the moment. We'll get to it. So this is the gift with purchase. So it's this little square postage die, and it's actually a set of 2. It's not just one. It's your basic, the little postage with the little stitch detail, and then a solid little square, which is always nice because then you can use either or, both together. Like you could make this into a little frame, or you could use just the square. You know, it's cute. Cute little thing. Love it. And then the stencil is just this. And it's cute. So just one stencil, but it's all the layers to build a little daffodil scene, which I thought was really cute. Super cute. So then you would just do your little layers and build, and then you can die cut it or have it just as a square, whatever floats your boat. So love it. Love it. It's adorable. Okay. So that is the little freebie. And then they always add this to their, like you can order it, you know? So it's not like limited or whatever. So I think it's super cute. So the postage collage itself, again, I'm only going to barely touch on it because we would literally be here all day if I started going into like every single thing. Also, we couldn't anyway because like I said, I started organizing before we went live because I started pulling out some of the products and then I was like, I need to organize all this. And then I ended up down a vortex of insanity and I literally need to set aside a huge chunk of time to organize my postage collage stuff. It's on the to-do list. We'll get there. So, this is the OG. This is the Postage Collage Die set. This was what originally came out. It's A2 sized. And it's just, you know, it looks like a sheet of, and I have some already die cut, postage stamps. You know, just, that's what it does. Just that. It's got the little stitching. Does the stencil come with the freebie? I think so. Let me go back to it. Square postage die. It might just be the die. And the stencil might be the die might be the freebie, and then the stencil's just is a purchase. Now I gotta look. I told y'all I have no idea what I'm doing today. I just sit in my garage. Listen to the howling wind. The die might be the freebie. The stencil might be just like on its own. I think just the die is the freebie. Yeah, I think just the die is just the freebie. As long as you purchase $25 from the release, you get the little square postage die for free, and then the stencil. Oh, and I was right. 12 coordinating stencils are planned for this die, with one releasing each month, starting now till March 2027. And each of those stencils is cheap. Yeah, it's like $7 because it's just one stencil. It's not multiple stencils. It's just one. Yeah. I think that's how it is. I think it's just this die that you guys see on screen, and then the stencil is separate. Hopefully I got that correct. I'm pretty sure I did. So the die is the freebie, and then the stencil is its own little purchase. And then the die is available though, and will be, because obviously down the road, because they'll continue to release new stencil designs for it, it'll add on. So that's at least, you know, a fun way. So this is the original postage collage die set. This is the A2 size. This is the OG. This one. There are now multiple sizes. There's A6, A7, mini slimline, slimline. I think those are the 4 other sizes. There's a lot. Those ones, those other sizes, they all have dies like this and options. The layering stencil sets that say postage collage stencils are all meant for this one. They are sized for this to all layer up. I've done, like I said, a ton of videos. That's what I got distracted doing. I was going to link to that playlist. Details. Why is my... let me link. I'll link to this. Get the shareable link. There's my little... Boop. That's my playlist. And then I'll put it in the description box right now. I'm like... Oh, I love it. Things are glitching, babe. There we go. Postage Collage playlist. Welcome to the chaos, y'all. There we go. I'll just save it like that. I'll clean it up after the live. So, I have a playlist, and these are the ones I use the most. I prefer A2. That's just my personal preference, but there's all the other sizes. But to remember, the stencils, all the different layering stencils are meant for this. That said, there are other things that fit within the other sizes, which are, there's some different die sets. Waffle Flower has released. Oh my goodness, I gotta find some of it. Like I said, I'm not organized. Okay, things like this. And I don't have all these linked, but if you go, you can find them all on site. Like, and this is only some of it because it's not organized. But they've released tons of silhouette images, and there's a couple in the new release. I'll go over them real quick. But all of these work with any of them, or just in general. You don't have to use them with the postage collage. They're silhouettes. You can use them however you want, you know? So, and there's a million themes. There's birds and nature and beach and lake sunset. The wildflowers, love. The mushroom set, which I haven't even, you know, like, so many. So, and then there's dyes and all the things. And then the other thing, which, yeah, in this month, they released these two. So we've got mom silhouettes and dad silhouettes, which are just so nice. Like, so good. So you can use these with any of the postage collage sizes, whatever you want. And then in this release, they also did, it was these. They came out with, actually I'll show those in a second. All of these stencil sets for all the other sizes, because these are just, they just call them wavy lines. And these ones are sized to fit, like this is the A7 one, so it's a big stencil set. But it's to create like backgrounds to use with all those silhouette images. Because you could use just this stencil and do like ground. But then you could add the other stencils and build layers of color. And they've got examples on their site. There's tons of gorgeous cards. So these are what I call basics. So they did them for each. There's the A7, mini slimline, A6, and slimline. So I can't believe you haven't used the mushroom set. Oh, trust me. I had it, and then when it came out, it sold out. So I set it aside, and then my life has been chaos. Like, and I need to do a proper organizing of all of the postage collage stuff because I have most of it, and it's chaos, y'all. I need more hours in the day. So there was those. So people that have, you know, the other sizes and wants, there's those options. And then they also did these ones, which are just the inner blocks, because all those die sets, I'm not going to pull out all the other ones, but they all have like other, you know, little shapes, like kind of basic shapes, but with the postage, collage, etc. Every set has these. So then these new stencils are to fit in those, to create little, you know, backgrounds, what have you. So all the sizes now available for those. I'm going to set those aside because those, they're going to have to get organized. I don't know when. Someday. And then all of the die sets also have, and I already kind of use it because that's what I'm going to use today. This is the blocks die. This is what I was talking about when I said, like, for those that don't want to do, like, the Postage Collage edges, or if you just want a different whatever, all the sizes have this blocks die that die cuts a frame. So then you could use that instead. You could do all your stenciling, and instead of having it with the postage edge, you could have it just as blocks, use this as a frame, pop it up, whatever. Because it's the same size as this. See, it covers up this way. It goes this way. There we go. My brain's not working, see? So it covers it up. So in that one, the blocks is available in all the other sizes. And then this one also has the smooth dies without the edges. And then everything coordinates. It's all thought out. Love it so much. So, like I said, there's a very ratchety overview. Waffle Flower has a lot of videos on their channel and on their website. Everything is linked for everybody. And it explains everything much clearer, much better than I can. Because I am a hot mess, y'all. I am a hot mess. But I do love the Postage Collage collection so much. To the point where I actually purchased a second one of this size so I can die cut a couple at a time. Because when I'm die cutting, I've already lost the packaging that I was keeping this in. There it is. I generally do extras just to have on hand so that I can just yank out, you know, already die cut, ready to go, yada yada. And then I purchased a second one, which you can see right there, so that I could do it faster, because it is one of my favorite things to make. I don't know why. I love it. So yes, all of these blocks, so the block die, here's just one die cut. All of these pieces nest inside. Yeah, you can see it. So we got that stitching detail. All of these little die cut pieces, these are sized to the openings of the stencils. I'm going to use this piece, not the postage collage. We'll get to it. So these all fit like within that, like this. Ooh, and I got marks on that. Well, we'll fix that. But yeah, so the blocks, when you die cut it, all the inner pieces of this frame match up with this. And it's the same thing with the other sizes, the slim line, the A7, the mini slim line, the A6. So all those cutouts fit. And then if a person wanted to use the frame, it will completely obscure. So you could, like, if you wanted to, I guess you could stencil on this, but you could just stencil on a piece of cardstock. It doesn't have to be die cut. And then the frame would frame them up without any of that postal edge. Again, options. So many options. And so this one we're actually going to use, because I'm not going to use the actual postage collage today. That's not the plan. That's not the plan. So I'd use the frame, die cut this cardstock, because we're gonna, I don't know, get a bigger boat. Y'all, oh, what am I gonna do? Okay, I showed those. That can go away. We're gonna use that. Oh, and then the other things that are part of this release, 2 more postage collage stencil sets that go with the, like those silhouettes, etc. We got the Postage Collage Mom stencil. So cute. And then the Dad stencil. Adorable. And then there's like a dad word, a mom word. It's all in the release. And then there's the little mom and dad postage collage stamp set that's really cute too. You got little glasses, little sentiments, little icons, etc. It's adorable. It's adorable. Not using those today. What I want to use is this postage collage set. And the other thing I was going to show, because I've been getting a lot of questions about this. Where did I put it? Right here. It's this. I got to zoom out a bit so you guys can actually see it. There we go. Okay. Grip mats. I've shown this in other videos, talked about it, yada yada. Grip mats. There's a ton available on the market now. Many, many brands have them. I show several different brands. Always reminder, I do this as a job. a lot of this gets sent to me, so I pick and choose what depending on the brand I'm working with for a video, whatever. They're all great. You don't need 5 million things. You don't need multiples. Waffle Flower has some great grip mats. I store mine in these mesh bags. I do not take credit for this idea because it wasn't my idea. I got the idea from Lydia Evans that works with Altenew, and she showed it in a video, and I was like, game changer. Game changer. And then someone else who I can't give credit to because I'm not sure, she gave the idea to Kathy Zielski. If I knew who it was, I'd give them credit. But their idea was, because I was sticking just one grip mat in here. Because like I've talked about it when it comes to grip mats, which for those that might not be aware, there's a lot of different ones, and they're just a big sheet of photopolymer. Just like it's the same product as our clear stamps. And they're great. I love my grip mats. Stick my stencil to them. We're going to use one. I'll show it. But I hate the acetate sheets that come on them. I got so fed up with fighting with it because I'd, finish with my whatever project. I'd wipe it off. I'd stick the acetate sheet on. And then you're like, yeah, it's annoying. I didn't like it. So I only keep with these ones that have like a grid or anything. I cut the grid down. One side has the grid. The other side's just photopolymer. And then I would stick it in here. But I wouldn't stick more than one in the bag because they'll stick to each other. And then I'm fighting with it again and I'm getting annoyed. So whoever it was that, is brilliant and not me, came up with the idea of creating just parchment paper sleeves, like basic parchment paper. I'll get it from Costco because I use it. It's in my kitchen. I stole this from my kitchen because I use it when I'm baking. So your regular old parchment paper, and I just created a little sleeve, folded it over, cut it down. The grip mat doesn't stick to the parchment paper. And now I have like 4 grip mats in here. And for me, because I do this as a job, this is wonderful because I keep one bag per brand. So I've got my Waffle Flower grip mats in this one. I have Simon Says Stamp grip mats in another one. Altenew in another one. And they're all just in their little parchment paper sleeves. And then all I got to do is pull it out of here, use it, clean it off, and then I can slip it back in. And I keep them all just, with a bunch of other things, and they're just, love it. So that's how I store them. Total game changer. Absolutely love it. And then last but not least, with this one, I love how everyone's getting a kick out of your username. The black grip mat. For whatever reason, my top-down camera is like losing its mind. There you go. Good Lord.
Focus or what?
The black grip mat is like driving it insane. Look at my camera. You'll see it on there. Like, watch. It's normal right now.
Yeah.
It does not like the black grip mat.
Oh, it changed it washes it out.
Yeah. Maybe I won't use the black one today. I'll have to fiddle with my camera. Is it going to be that annoying? Can I? Oh.
It must be really black.
Oh, it's really, well, anyway, I'll show this and then we'll use the other grip mat because it's driving my camera insane and we're not dealing with that today. Anyway, the black grip mat isn't black. It's clear. It's just this backing acetate that is black. The black grip mats are a little bit more sticky. Like, they're not sticky. It's just the black ones are a newer version that Waffle released last year at whatever point. I've used the smaller one in many videos and I finally got my hands on the bigger one because I love it. What I did though with the black ones is I cut down this acetate and I cut the corners off so I can stick it a little easier to my work surface. And I know I'm going on and we're still, not even getting into the project, but the reasoning behind that is because if there's no acetate at all on the back of this and you stick it to, if you have a glass work surface like me, it can get really, really difficult to get this up. I've had some people, they're like, they couldn't do it. So I was like, oh yeah, I just need a little bit of give. So I just took the corners off, and then that way I can stick it down and then it comes up off my work surface. Okay. So I was going to use this, but now I'll have to figure out why my camera wants to be a butthead. So we'll just use the other one that hopefully won't make my camera freak out, which was this one. Here we go. We'll just use this guy. There we go. That one doesn't make me. Yo. The tech gremlins are out in full force. Also, because I also get asked this a lot, these do stain. Here's my bigger one. These do stain over time. Different inks will stain them. Same thing with your stamps. Black inks will stain. Reds, reds love. Pretty much any color ink, really. Over time, they will stain. Stained photopolymer is fine. It's fine. With these, you do not want to use any sort of harsh cleaner, solvents, alcohol, rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, etc. Do not use that, because same thing, you don't use that on your stamps. Over time, that stuff will permeate the photopolymer and it'll start getting gummy and it will degrade. All you want to use on grip mats and your clear photopolymer stamps is stamp cleaner, like Ultra Clean. My label's kind of gross, but the Brutus Monroe Squeak, like a stamp cleaner meant for photopolymer stamps. You can also just use water. You can use a mild little bit of dish soap and water, and you can just wipe it off, or rinse it off in the sink. If it's really gunked up, that's fine. And then let it air dry. Don't let it soak in the water either. Same with your stamps. Do not leave these to soak, hoping, because same thing, it'll start to permeate and you'll just destroy them. And you don't want that. You don't want that. It would suck. These mats, because of the size of them, they're not cheap, and you don't want to wreck your stamps and your grip mats. That said, if you've done it in the past, given it a swipe with alcohol, whatever, it's not the end of the world. Just now that you know. So I hope that explained all the things. That's how I store them. That's how I clean them. And then I just have to figure out my stupid camera setting and why it doesn't. Yeah, it really doesn't like that at all. Well, I would use the black backed instead of the clear, just preference. Well, for me, the black backed, you can see a little better, like what's sitting on top of it. But with my filming setup now, I'm not sure. It didn't used to be this annoying. I've used I have this smaller black mat. I've used it multiple times and it doesn't flip my camera out this much. And now I was looking forward to using it because it's shiny and new, but so is this one, so whatever. Okay, so that's that on that with grip mats. How I store them, how I clean them, and then the ones, any of the acetate grids that come with them, especially any that are smooth. I know Altenews grip mats have a texture on the other side, so I don't use any mats with them because that texture keeps it from solidly clinging, whereas solid photopolymer like this does cling. So all I do with mine is I just cut down the mat, the the acetate sheet to smaller than the mat, just so that the edges can grip to my glass like that. And I do know someone else mentioned they actually took theirs, and I can't get it to it right now, but the smaller glass mats, because so many of y'all are like me and you have multiple things. You got your big gloss work surface and you have, the ones you got previously, like the Tim Holtz one, etc. And I thought that was a really good idea. They're like, oh, I just stuck my grip mat to that smaller glass mat so they can just pull it out when they need it and then just stick it on a shelf. And I was like, that's kind of smart. I might do that. I might do that. I like that idea, but it's another idea anyway. So there's our grip mat. All that yapping and chaos and what have you. So I've got my die cut, and I'm going to keep it. I'm not actually using this frame, but I'm keeping it on here because it's going to keep everything spaced where it needs to be so I can use the stencils and I won't have to move the stencils. So I can take all those pieces that popped out and just pop them back into their respective squares, like so. And then we got that guy. And then this guy, I managed to get schmutz on it, which I've got an eraser. Here we go. Okay. Yep. I think it was just a mark from my cutting mat. Yeah. Okay. So we got all these little pieces in place. And then the stencil set I want to use. This is the Picture Perfect stencil set. And this one has a coordinate stamp set, which we'll get to once we're done stenciling. So we have all the layers. And then I've talked about this before. Waffle Flow, there we go, has all of the like info. So PC, Postage Collage, Picture Perfect, the number, like the item number, and then it'll have like 1 of 5, 2, 3, 4, you know, whatever. And then it'll have things like that. So it'll give markings for what is what, background, BG, background, etc., etc. And then depending on the style of the stencil set, sometimes it'll say like color ideas as well, like light orange, medium, dark, whatever. All of that is just a guide. You can do whatever you want. Options. So there's also etched lines. Just trying to show it, let the light reflect there. There's also etched lines to line things up. So the straight etched lines, like the outer one right there is A2 size. So again, you don't have to die cut first. You can just line up the stencil with like an A2 piece of cardstock, do all your blending, and then decide whether you want to die cut it, trim it with your paper trim, and like all the options. So we're gonna line everything up like so. Just making sure. Like that. So got everything lined up. And then we're going to start blending. And I'm winging it because, again, I didn't plan nothing. I kind of grabbed colors at random. This might turn into a complete hot mess. Because, you know, life. So, we're just going to see. We're just going to see. I want to use something really dark. Got something really dark. Got a bit of that. Let's just do it. Let's just commit, y'all. Let's just commit. So, I got like dust bunnies. Okay. Okay. I'm going to use the little Waffle Flower Shader 1 Plus brushes. And there we go. Make my life a little easier. Okay. So, we are just going to do... No, we're just going to do it. We're just going to commit, you know? Like I said, I'm super professional, y'all. I totally know what I'm doing. So professional. Everything's great. Oh, and same thing with blending brushes. I get asked this a lot too, to like pick favorites. Thankfully, there's a lot of good ones. There's so many good ones. We have so many options now. And I do this as a job. So I have a crazy amount of blending brushes. Like more than the average bear needs, you know. And then I also will purchase brushes. Because when something comes out, I'm just like, ooh, intrigued. Do I need them? No. But I'm curious. So, yeah. I do love these Waffle Flower ones. I have purchased extras I keep a set for, I have one set for lighter colors, one set for like darker colors, just to make life a little easier. And yeah. Ooh, this is going to be like a really dramatic background. Love it. Love it. Linda, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chaos, honestly. Just, yeah. Welcome to the chaos. Sometimes I have everything, let's be honest, every once in a while, I am like super planned out and everything's ready to go. But usually I'm just flying by the seat of my pants, you know? Let's just be honest. I may do this, I do this as a job and I'm, you know, a professional, but I can only be so professional. Okay. I don't even think I lined this up properly, but you know what? Whatever. We're just going with it. We're just going with it. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. So yeah. Welcome to any newbies. Welcome to the chaos. And yeah, welcome to the mess that is my brain. Doop, doop, doop. Okay. So I've got the really dark navy background for these because that's going to make everything else pop. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use all of these when all is said and done. We'll just see. I'm only planning on making one card today. I was going to go all out and do several, but yeah, I got too much on my plate and not enough time to think. So that was backgrounds. This little one has markings on it and it says trees. So I'm going to use a really dark green for that, which I'll do. We'll use that one, so we'll use some evergreen for this. Ooh, nice and juicy. There we go. Got that. Okay. So got that. And then this one, it says log. Yeah, they're sitting on a log. Okay, I'm going to use, we'll use espresso. So I want my brown brush for that one. And we'll blend that into there. Boop. Like that. And then this one, it says hair. So just to mix stuff a bit, I'll grab a different color of brown for that. Let's do cocoa. Because my order of we talked about this in the last live or the one before. One of my recent lives. Everyone was asking me about the new Concord 9th. Colors, changes. They kind of changed how they're doing their colors and stuff now. I did get the neutrals. I ordered them. This is my first time using them. Haven't labeled anything. Haven't put them away because I got to reorganize a lot too because they've changed how they have their things, and then they're coming out with the new colors or the seasonal colors, whatever, soon in a few days. I think it's part of their April release. I don't even know. Y'all, I have no idea what's going on. Okay, so a little bit of that, and that was layer 1. Cool. And then I'll clean all the stencils off after the live. Okay. And then stencil 2 is going to be there we go. Okay. So with this, Gonna do some more green. It's like they're sitting on a log. It's gonna be like a shrub, you know, and there's grass. That'll be another layer of green. Those are like some florally images. This is background. That's her shirt. This all makes sense as it comes together. Okay, I'm gonna use the same green here for this one. Doop, doop, doop. Like so. Trying to use a lighter hand because I have not used this color in a long time and it is juicy. Very intense. So blend that on like that. Lovely. Okay. So got that. And then for, oh, I'm gonna do that. So I pulled out, let's do blueberry. This is a really pretty color. Okay, so then I need to, and I just, when I'm using the same brush, because I get asked that one a lot too, like do I have brushes, like a brush for every color? No. Do I wish I had a brush for every color? Yeah, I do. It would be nice, but again, I got a lot of different ink lines, a lot of different brushes, yada, 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 because I do this as a job, and yeah. In a perfect world, it'd be nice, just because how fun would that be? But all I do is just rub my brushes off on a microfiber cloth when I'm going from like one dark blue shade to a different dark blue shade. Yeah, I rub it off on a cloth. We've had discussions about this. I've never washed any of my brushes. I am too lazy for that. I don't have the time and I don't have the patience. The only thing I'll say, like, no shade on those who do wash their brushes. There's nothing wrong with it. You just want to make sure that if you do wash them, any of them, make sure that once you're done, try and like soak up any excess water into like a cloth or whatever, and then dry them like tilted so that the water, you know, doesn't go away. Because I'm pretty sure almost all of our blending brushes, it doesn't matter in the brand, are adhered. Like there's glue in there, and you don't want to keep adding like moisture to that because you don't want your brushes to fall apart. So it's another reason why I don't bother washing them. It's like, I just rub them on a cloth. And then, so got that one. I'm going to use that too for this guy. Blend in that color. Like this. Okay. Using a lighter hand, it doesn't need to be solid color. Plus I like the variation when I'm able to achieve it, me and my heavy hands, you know. There we go. Okay. And then that's, oh, water. It even says that. It said water. It says it right on the stencil. So we'll just use that same color. Doop, doop, doop. Like that. And then for my flowery bits, I want to use, let's just go with Carnation, which I think this one, I think Waffle, or not Wallflower, I think Concord 9th is discontinuing this color. They've got several pinks. I like this color. I use it a lot. It is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, any pretty pink will work. So I'll use that for her shirt. Like that. And then I'll use it for these flowery bits right here. Just so everything's kind of matchy-matchy, because I'm not sure which ones I want to use on the actual finished card. And I might still need the carnation. We'll see. Okay, that was that layer. And then, if I can get, there we go. like that. And then the next layer is going to be more of the detail elements. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, I'll use the carnation on that one. And yes, hello to everybody tuning in. Welcome to the chaos.
Not to make people to die.
Well, that's fun. I will not be, how do I word it? It's always like kind of interesting when like new people stumble across my live streams, and it's like, that's why I say welcome to the chaos, y'all. I'm not for everybody. My personality's not for everyone, and I am a mess. It just is what it is. So, it is fine. It's fine. Okay. Did that. And then, okay, it says these two are skin, and I pulled out, there was a color I had for that one. There we go. The new sand shade. I can imagine Welcome to the Jungle being rewritten for Welcome to the Chaos. Yeah, kind of. Where? Oh, that's not the one I want. Oh, there it is. Okay, this one should work. So, we use the sand shade for the skin tone. It doesn't need to be accurate. These inks, like Concord 9th inks, this also applies to Simon Says Stamps Positively Saturated inks and Altenews Fresh inks and probably several other inks on the market. The ones I mention are just the ones I personally have and use, so I can't speak to all of them. But yeah, they soften a bit, they dry back a bit, they lighten a little bit as they dry. So always keep that in mind. This is supposed to be a kitty cat. How about we make him gray? He'll be a little gray kitty cat. We'll use cobblestone for him. I was going to make him an orange cat, but let's make him gray. Just because we can. So, we'll do a little bit of cobblestone. Like that. And then these little flowers, let's do them in, ooh, I did pull it out, Wildberry. There we go. So, yeah, this one will work. This one will work. Wildberry. And that one's a flower centered. That one I'm going to use a different color. So add some Wildberry. Huh? Oh no, that's a cat. This is a dog. But that is a cat. So add the Wildberry. Like that. And then that little bit right there, I'll just take a little bit of Stardust. And just, there we go. Okay, so we got a million things going on here. Those are all, yeah, that one's done. Swoop. And everything shifted. Good job, Amy. Not the end of the world. Stay in your home. Some of this ink is still wet. I don't want to smear it everywhere. Okay. So we got that. And then the next layer is just, again, more detail, more filling in of the different bits. There we go. So we got that. So then that will be a green. I'm going to use that Stardust for her hair. I'll give her, she'll kind of have like golden-ish hair. So we'll use that. Like so. And then I want a lighter shade of green. I'd pull that up. Pistachio will work. Pistachio will work. So we'll do pistachio for all of this. And because I'm using smaller brushes, there's like a little portion of the clothing here that you could just do all the same color. Like, it doesn't matter, but because I'm using a smaller brush, I can go in there with a different color. So that's what I'm going to do because I can. So I got that. I'll use the Carnation. That's not the brush I was using. This was the one. There we go. Got that. And then we will continue with this bit. This is like just greenery in a vase, like so. And then, yeah. Actually, oh, does it say on here? Yeah, it does. Cat. See, it's labeled. Cat. And then that one says dog face. And then that's more greenery in that little scene. And then all of this is also greenery. Doop, doop, doop. It's so fun to watch it come to life with each one. Oh, I know. Everything always looks like a hot mess with layering stencils. Like, and especially when the ink is on it, like it looks messy and kind of like, what are you doing? But then once you peel off the stencil and it starts coming together, it's like, oh. Especially ones like this, because Waffle designs all this stuff, and it's like, what are you getting at? And then once you're done, it's like, oh, brilliant, genius, no notes, love. Okay, what color do we want to make our Doge? They kind of did like sort of gray shades. I want to make him... Yeah. He's technically kind of a poodle Doge the way they made him, but I'm just going to make him look a little bit like a Labradoodle. Why not? Let's do Buttercup. That'll work. Doot, doot, doot. Just because I can. He's just going to be a derpy Doge with a derpy haircut, which reminds me of our old dog. Because he was definitely a derpy Doge with a derpy haircut all the time. I miss him. Okay. Okay. Oh, it shifted again. I keep being a little too rough here. Move over. There you go. Stay in your homes. Stay in your homes. There we go. So, last but not least, are these final little details. There we go. Okay. So, I'll use a bit of the Buttercup here. Just like that. And then I'll go in with a little bit of sunflower. I got like inks everywhere. I'll do... There we go. Give him a little bit more depth here. So he's not like a bright yellow Doge, you know? There we go. That's a little better. There's some sunflower. And same with... He's gonna look so derpy, but honestly, it's kind of also the way he was designed. And besides, sometimes the derpiest dogs are the best dogs. Doop, doop, doop. Okay. So we got that. And then I am going to add... Actually, I'll just use sunflower on this too. This is supposed to be like a lighter blue according to the stencil, but I'm going to do that. Yeah, it'll make sense in a second. I'm just going to use it on here because I can. Okay, so we have that. No, I'm going to use a different shade. For the balls, I'm going to use the Stardust color because this is one of my favorite colors. I've talked about Stardust many times. Stardust, Concord Night Stardust is, to me, is gold without the metallic. That's how I view Stardust. It depends on people's screens. It'll come across as like maybe a caramel color or what have you, but it basically is like a gold shade without the metallic element to it. And I love Stardust. Okay, I'm gonna add a smidge of Wildberry to that little like flower piece in her hair. There we go. Lovely. And then last but certainly not least, I've got ink everywhere, is just the sky portion, which we'll just do Harbor for that. There we go. Light blue. Like that. And there we go. Okay. I have like 5 million ink pads piled up around here. It's a little bit nuts. Now with this one, it's still gonna look a little bit off, but you gotta bear with me for a second here because there literally is a method to the madness. I just need space. Okay. And it would help if I put all my brushes away. I've shown this before too. This is how I store them. Little waffle flower brush holder duos. They're like silicone material. Love these things. They're amazing. I've had them for years. I've purchased extras. I keep all my brushes in these guys. And yeah, I have like light color, darker color, the original ones, whatever. Doesn't matter. That goes there. That goes there. That goes in that one. Okay. Brushes out of the way. Final stencil off. Like, as is, this looks okay. You know, it's okay. But it's missing something, you know? That's what this weird thing is that looks completely weird. If you just saw this in the store, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is the Picture Perfect Detail Stamp. Because all these little tiny openings, to do that on another stencil would be really difficult. So they just did it as a stamp. So, to fully finish this off, we need to stamp this. And it's one stamp. So this also is where it comes in handy to have everything lined up, you know? So for this, there we go. I'm going to, oh, it all stayed in place. What a shocker. There we go. Man, that was nice. That was satisfying. Okay. So if we just get this, again, let me take a, I'm like scared I'm going to smear all this because you stencil all this and don't give it time to dry. But I'm live and we're not going to sit here forever. Okay. There. Oh yeah, we're good. So he's pressed into place. And now I can put my stamp over this. And as usual, they've got little like tick marks that just make sense. So I'm going to take those seconds to make sure I've got everything lined up. Yep. Close the lid of my MISTI. Make sure everything stays in its space. And then we can stamp the detail. Wrong one, sir. I do have them like linked as a bundle too.
Yeah.
There's like that picture perfect bundle or whatever that comes with the stencil, this stamp set, plus there's one other. There's this little set that goes with it too. You're a real work of art. We're gonna use that. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Okay. Boop boop boop. Now I'm just gonna stamp all this in black. Let's just keep it easy. So. Get everything inked up. Oop. Everything's in its place. Oh, missed a spot. Right there. Still missed it. Get in your home. Yep. How fun is that? And you could stamp it lighter too. It would look really nice in like, I was thinking about stamping this like in a brown, because that would just give it a little lighter of an impression. You know, not quite as like harsh as black, but I do like me some black detail. And it just finishes it off. How fun is that? Oof, and now I can turn the heater off. I'm not cold anymore. There we go. There we go. Okay. So yeah, when I had seen this release, when I was looking at just this stamp, I was like, what are you trying to accomplish here? Like, what is it? And it didn't make, and then I saw like the finished examples with the stencil set and I was like, oh, now I get it. Brilliant. Brilliant. So yeah, it gives a little, you know, the critters are little faces and then just all that detail. Geniuses, all of them. I never in a million years would have been able to think of something like this on my own. Okay. So yeah, now we've got all of these little blocks, really. And again, I could have done all of this on that die cut postage collage panel. So then these would all just look like little postage stamps, which is super cute. But that's not what I wanted to do today. So we're gonna set this aside for a second. This ink takes, this Nocturne ink takes a little bit to dry and I'm really bad about smearing it. So we're just gonna go like that. Go like that. He does kind of look like, with the colors I chose, he does kind of look like a bumblebee. I'm okay with that. Yeah, he's cute. He's cute. So then, what was also in this release is the Postage Collage Frames stamp set. And then there is a coordinating die set for these frames. And in, I don't think it was the last one. It was in a recent release. And I don't remember. And it's around here somewhere. Y'all, there is another die set that's just frames that was done to go with this, and that's the same thing. It sold out super quick. It's back in stock now. But there is just a Postage Collage Frames die set that die cuts decorative frames, and now we have a stamp set as well. And the stamps are a little bit larger than the original little frames die set. So I thought we could stamp these onto some cardstock, and I'll decide which ones I want to use. So I'm going to stamp all of them because I don't know what I want to do. So I need some cardstock. I don't even have a panel of cardstock that's big enough. Here we go. That'll work. That'll work. Okay. So, this again is another way for people to use any of the Postage Collage stencil sets and not do the postage stamp theme style, what have you. You know, we got little frames, blocks. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. Got that. I'm going to be able to fit all of these on here. I hope so. Hopefully I didn't cut it too small. I want to be able to stamp all of them. Oh. See that? There we go. So definitely want enough clearance around all of them because to die cut with the coordinating wafer dies. There we go. Got enough clearance. Okay. Got that. And then these guys, I am going to ink up with that Stardust ink. And when you have brand new stamps, when they are brand new, fresh out of the package, it's hard, sorry. This reflection is kind of hard, but they're shiny almost. There's a residue that is on brand new photopolymer stamps. It's part of the manufacturing process as they're being like rinsed out at the end. There's a little bit of residue on them. And when they're brand new, if you find that, you know, you ink up your stamp and you're stamping it and it's like the ink is like beating up and you're not getting, you know, a smooth stamped image. If the stamp is brand new, this is why you see me rubbing my fingers against it. This helps like remove that little bit of residue. Another option is to use just a basic eraser, like a basic white eraser, nothing special. Altenew does have like stamp conditioning erasers. Those work really well too. And you just rub it on, wipe off any residue. Another thing you can do is ink up your stamps. Just ink them up and stamp them onto scrap paper, like multiple times. Ink it up, stamp, or ink it up with like Versamark or Clair embossing ink. That just, all that to say, you're conditioning the stamp. Because the more you use a stamp, the better it works. And photopolymer will stain. My most stained, most loved stamps stamp so good. Like, ink it up and stamp it. But when they're brand new, they take that little extra bit of conditioning and then they work better. So I just use my hands and just rub that stamp. And you can kind of see it, how it sees. There's spots like right there where I missed. So it's like, there you go, you know? So it's like just when it looks a little dull. And you don't need anything abrasive. Like, don't use sandpaper. Don't use gritty erasers, you know, something that is gonna, like, you don't need to do any of that. Like, just rub it with your fingers. A basic little white eraser, something gentle. Do not use a sanding block. People have said that. They don't do it. Do not do that. You'll wreck your stamps. Okay. So I think we're good. And if I miss any spots, that's also why we use stamp platforms, because then we can re-ink and re-stamp. So, knocking your finger over, I'm going to use my Stardust ink. So we can stamp all these frames. Use a cloth and rub the stems. Yeah, that works too. You can just like use a cloth, a damp cloth, even a dry cloth will work. I just use my fingers because I usually have like lint and dust on all my cloths no matter what I do because I'm in the garage and that is just par for the course. But yeah, that works great. Just making sure that I get contact with all of the stamp surfaces. Love it. Love it. Don't really need to stamp this a second time, but I'm going to anyway. Just because I can. I did think about heat embossing these. Because I was like, oh, stamping these and heat embossing them with like gold embossing powder would look really fun. I'm a little concerned though. I think you might lose some of the detail. Because there's all that nice little stitching detail and stuff. But I'm still probably going to try, just not during today's live because I am all over the place and I talk too much. Is what it is. I heard that smirk. I heard you breathing.
It happens every once in a while.
Yeah, I heard that just that internal to me talking too much. Look, sir. Oh, it's so good. So good. Okay. Ooh, don't want to drop that. Don't want to drop my ink covered lid. Okay. Let's wipe all that ink off. There we go. Okay. Yep. And there it is. I was like, I already lost my stamp sheet. These are also all numbered. Waffle does this with a lot of their stamps and dies. There you go. There's like 6. 1, 2, 3. And it's all numbered. Numbered to follow the original Postage Collage Die layout. They also do that with their sentiment stamps, stamps sets that have all the sentiments and everything. If you look on the back of the coordinating wafer dies, because on the packaging, if the packaging of the Waffle stamps, like the sentiments, there'll usually also be little numbers on the packaging. Same thing, it'll say 1, 2, 3, da-da-da. And then the dies will have numbers on the back of them, which is brilliant. It's all those extra little things that they do, and I'm just like, thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. At least he's agreeing with you instead of arguing with you. Well, he knows better. He knows better. I am well aware of my flaws, and I point them out frequently. And he, I think, sometimes has a death wish, because sometimes he'll agree. And it's like, you're not supposed to agree. You're supposed to say that I'm perfect.
You are perfect.
I'm a delight.
Perfection never has flaws.
I know, right? And besides, perfection's overrated. But, yeah. Okay. Coordinating wafer dies. Which, do these have? Oh, they do. Will this show up? I think I can make it show up. See? That's what I was talking about. Little, there we go. It's hard to show. Little numbers. With one like this, it's kind of like, meh, but still. So, we've got all these little coordinating wafer dies, and then they are numbered, which one like this, it's kind of obvious. But for some, specifically like the sentiments, like when you've got like 15 sentiments, it's nice to have the numbers and whatnot to grab things more at a glance. And I like that. Okay, this will just fit on here. Okay. So this is why I took that time to make sure everything was spaced, so I can die cut all of this in one go. And then we'll have all of these little frames that I can mix and match with. And they all line up like that. And then this one will be, yep, that's this one. There we go. And this one is this one. Like that. And then that one. Lovely. And then that one. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. Let me die cut this first. My brain was just like, oh, I wonder. But we'll start with this. We will start with this and see how I feel about these frames. Double checking that everything is lined up. Move him over a little bit. And that one too. Boop. Okay. And now I can die cut. Now we're good to go. Okay. How fun is that? Seriously. We could also possibly do it like that too. That, oh, see, we could do either. We could have it behind and then have the frame, or we can pop these above. We'll see what I decide to do. Options. I like options. So with that frame and that frame. Stick that there. And then these are fun, y'all. These are so fun. That one. That one. I'm like running out of space as per usual. So we have that. And then while I've got my die cut plate out, I want to add some texture. I pulled out. Oh, there's a frame. There's a frame die set. The original one. See, this one's just frames. Like no stamps or anything. This is just frames. Options. Options. You know? You know, whatever. It's my life. I can do what I want. I want to die cut these. Stardust cardstock. We'll see. We can choose which one we want to use. Yeah, Postage Collage Frames Die. I don't think I linked to this in the supplies. Did I? I don't think I did.
I don't see it, no.
Oh, that one I'm going to have to add manually. Give me a sec. I can do it.
Okay.
Oops, wrong one. Fringe frames. That one. Is that the one I want? Yes. Bookmarklet. Dupe. Dupe. Live. Add to start a list. It's now there. Okay. Add a link to it. Let's just die cut. Because we can. And this one has the little hanger thing, you know, which is super fun. I'm not going to be able to fit these on here. How many of these can I fit? Any of the extras I can use for something else. Let's move that right there. There we go. Okay. That. Will that one fit on there? Yes. These ones. Do I need every single frame? No, but do I want every single frame on here? Kind of. I just need more cardstock. That's all I need is more cardstock. Do those ones. I'll run them through, and then we can decide which ones we want to use. Why not? Okay. That was the wrong thing. Okay. Save all the scraps, because you never know when you need them. See, these ones just have, like, that would be the same. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, they're the same size. So the stamp set is the same as the die set. See? And they're the same size. So they're totally interchangeable. So that's kind of fun. So what you could also do is use this coordinating die set to die cut just like solid color cardstock to mat these to just build more depth, you know, to kind of make it look a little more beveled or what have you. Oh, y'all. I need more hours in the day. And yeah, save all my scraps because they come in handy to die cut other little bits and bobs. Same like that. Any scrap that's got like a large enough area, it's like, oh, I could die cut little stars from that, or little hearts, or little sentiments, whatever. Same with all those inner bits. I save all that too. Okay, so I got all those ones. And then I just need to die cut these last two because I do. I just do. No, wrong one. Okay. Will that work? Will this random scrap work? Just. Okay. We're good. There we go. Die cut that guy. And that guy. Okay. And then save all those little scraps. Frames in gold. There's Monica's door. I know, right? You could totally have a purple background. Yep. Yep. It would work. Okay, back to what was I doing? I don't know what I was doing. What am I doing, y'all? I don't know. Okay, there's all my little frames. Super fun. I'm not die cutting the little pieces just because I'm all over the place. But I'm going to, I want a textured background for my pieces. So I pulled out this Dash Diamond Texture wafer die. And some, this is cobblestone cardstock. I need to trim this down because I just have a full sheet of it. So I'm just going to trim this to A2 sized. 4 1/4. There we go. Trim that down. And then I don't need the shim, I don't think, for this. I'm going to, so these, a lot of these dies from Waffle Flower that do, they've got a ton, that do the texture. There's a lot of options, and some also have coordinating like outline dies, you know, that can layer, etc. And some also have, there's like stencils that can be used. So it's like you could die cut and then use a stencil to add more depth, what have you. And then almost all of them do not have a cutting edge. Like it's just the pattern and then no cutting edge. So you can kind of do whatever you want with it. And of course they're like A2 sized. So I'm just going to line her up, get it on there. And yes, you could totally, these ones would be easier to do as a shaker because you've got more like space. You can definitely do it with these. You just need to use some really narrow or trim down your foam tape just to fit, you know, within. So the stamp frames would be a lot easier to create into shakers because you could easily use like waffle flower foam strips. Will totally work for those. So, options. All the options. So yeah. And like I said, you could totally like build up. I really love that these line up perfectly. I don't know why. That's so satisfying. So you could build it up and create depth and dimension. And then yeah, turn it into a shaker. How cute would that be? And yeah, print off some little pictures of your little people or whoever and can like frame them. Use it as a scrapbook layout. Put it on a card. Happy birthday. And have their like actual photo on there. How cute would that be? Love it. Okay. Get off my... There we go. Okay. Get in your home. So. Oh, so good. I love it. I love it so much. The detail is so good. So, I think I'm going to use... Get out... I'm having problems here, y'all. Okay. So we could do like... And then maybe this one with this frame. And then we could do maybe this one. And that one could go on the inside. That one goes with this one. It's this big guy. Yes. Got that. Could do that. Because I want space. I have a sentiment I plan to put on here as well. I guess they could also overlap a little bit. Because my plan, y'all, because then we'll have a sentiment. Yes. Oh, I might be able to squeeze in. Put one down there. Have that there. And then maybe fit like that one in there. Just really just like, yeah, no, that's a little too much. That's a little too much. How about we do like this sentiment. We did the love you and then love you, hope your day is picture perfect. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Okay. So, that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take my little panels here, and to make my life easier, I'll just use some washi tape to hold these in place before we fully adhere them. Like that. And that. There we go. Love it. Where do I want to do that? So many options, y'all. Too many options. Too many options. Okay. So we've got that. Yeah, I could do it landscape as well. That would give me a little more space. Do like that. Okay, let me get these like adhered to their frames, and then that'll give me a little more ease to wiggle things around how I want. There we go. There we go. Like that one. So that. That. Because then my sentiment. Like that. Because then we could overlay it a little bit because it's going to be on vellum. And then we could fit that other guy like right there. He would fit real nice. And then we can still stick one or two on the inside of the finished card. There we go. So, oh, and I used up my little roll of washi tape. It's another thing I've told y'all about. Use your washi tape. It does dry out. Several rolls of washi, many rolls, because, you know, I would collect it because I was like, oh, it's so pretty. Washi tape does dry out. I have more rolls. Give me 1 second. Ooh, we can use my, we can use this, and you guys can talk amongst yourselves for 5 seconds. Okay, I'm back. Washi tape. I was like, for my brain literally stopped. I was like, what were you doing? Well, I don't know. Oh, okay. I got that one done. Didn't even need that right now. So we've got that. My sentiment is actually, should we adhere all this first? And do I want to trim this down a little bit? I think I do. Okay. We'll get to the sentiment because we're also going to add a little bit of splatter, you know? Did you make that? Yeah, that little graphic, I made the graphic. And then, I made the graphic, and then in our YouTube music library on the back end, they had that, like elevator music or whatever. So I built it. I built that graphic with the music, put it in a scene, and rarely ever use it, but it's kind of fun, isn't it? So I'm going to trim this down just a bit with this specific pattern. Because I did it in a previous video. I didn't talk about it, but with a pattern like this that pierces, you know, that cuts right in to the cardstock, if you like cut into this pattern, parts of it can fall off because it's pierced. It's one of those things to kind of keep in mind with different pierced backgrounds that, yeah, there's all those little cuts in the cardstock. So when you start like trimming into it, pieces can fall off. So I'm just cutting just slightly outside the pattern just so that I don't have to deal with that. There we go. Yeah. That works. That works. You picked that idea from Kathy? Of course. Hers is a little nicer than mine. I think our music ended up being the same, but she got hers from a different source. Like I said, I got mine from the YouTube creator library, but I think it's the same music file. Pretty sure. It's a royalty-free one. And yeah, because Kathy's a genius. And she knows it. And she knows that I stalk her. I tell her that all the time. I also know where she lives. And she's already warned me not to show up at her house. I think she was joking, but at the same time, like, we don't live close by, so it's not like, because I would have just shown up just to see what she would do. Poor Kathy. Yeah. She puts up with my shenanigans. What can I say? All right. So, I've got my card base. Yeah, see the little bit I trimmed off, so then the card will frame. You know, that just that smidge. So, I'm gonna pop this up with some foam tape, like I said. Yeah, I'll pop this up with a bit of Big Mama foam tape, just to give it a little bit of. You're both introverts. Oh, I know, right? But I'm a little more unhinged. A lot more unhinged than Kathy. So at some point, I probably will be outside her house. I would give her a heads up. I wouldn't like fully stalk her. But I would like to show up. What movie was that with the boombox? He's standing there with the boombox in his trench coat at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
You know which one I'm referring to? It's like, I should have a moment like that. I'll just be standing at Kathy's house with the boombox playing that elevator music. And she would look out her window and then she'd go lock all her doors and close the curtains. That's most likely what would happen. So anyway.
That was that Say Anything, I think.
I don't think it was Say Anything. What movie was it? Was it Say Anything?
It was.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, I gotta clean my scissors. They're a little gunked up. Anyway, but yeah, someday I'll do it. It would be funsies. I also threatened to go down there to hide in her trunk because she was planning on going on a road trip to visit Laura Basson. And I was like, just don't look in your luggage, you know. Maybe I'll find a way to hide in there. Because hanging out with the two of them would be pretty fun. Although, yeah, we're all introverts, so it's like maybe we would all just sit there and sit in different rooms and just text. I don't know. I don't know, man. Talk big talk, but I talk to a camera, not real people. Okay. Got the Big Mama foam tape on there. Let's... Boop. Okay. Yeah, it was Breakfast Club.
No, that's a... I'm pretty
But,
sure
or
it's
that was...
different.
They had similar, like, that was like a theme, too. Like the boombox. I'm just picturing him. He was standing with the
it was a
boombox
brown
over his head.
trench coat.
Was it a brown trench coat?
And it was Say Anything.
Okay. Yeah, like that scene. Anyway.
All I remember is the one, like, quote from that movie about him not wanting to, like, buy or sell anything or repair anything bought or sold and stuff like that.
Yeah, all I remember is that bit. Breakfast Club, I remember more of the, like, because I remember watching that movie, but... Yeah, anyway. Fun times, y'all. Fun times. Boop. There we go. Okay. So, I want to get this into place. Ooh. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful because foam tape, you get one shot. There we go. Hold him in place. So, and you can totally, I never do it, but you can do the, a bit of liquid glue smeared on there. Gives you more wiggle room. You know, I only do that when I'm really not feeling like, or I'm shaky or just having a rough time, which I probably should be doing today. But because foam tape, once it's down, you're done. Like you are not getting any of this taken apart without shredding the cardstock. But usually I'm not this ridiculous and I can do it, but I am having a bit of a mini crisis at the moment, which is not that surprising if I'm being honest. Good enough. Yep, we're good. We're good. Take that little bit of washi tape off. So, we got our background on my card base. Isn't it strange when you want to meet people, but you also do not want to meet people? Yep. We want to meet all the people we like. We also do not want to be around any people. Yep. Truth. Although being around like fellow card makers, it is a lot of fun. You know, it's overwhelming. It's really overwhelming. I have a hard time, but I'm also enjoying it because it's like, you know, they're all our people. Yeah, okay. I like that. And then these I'm also going to pop up with the Big Mama foam tape because Big Mama foam tape is thin. It is half as thick as standard foam tape. And that's why I love it, because I can build dimension with this, but it's not going to make my card super bulky. Got that one. And then I always want to be invited, but I absolutely don't want to go. Same. I like to be included. I like to be invited. You know, and whether or not I would actually like go to the things, I have no idea. I've only done like one thing my entire career. There we go. Okay. And the song "In Your Eyes" by Peter Gabriel. Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what. Like if I started hearing it, but I can't play it during like a live stream or anything like that, because I would immediately get demonetized. Because when I joke about the algorithms, one of the most powerful ones on YouTube is music copyright.
Oh yeah.
It is a monster algorithm. That it scans our videos as they're being uploaded, because you got any copyrighted music, they will ding you before the video is even fully uploaded. You don't mess with them. There's those little weird rules, like you get X amount of seconds. I don't even mess with that.
No, definitely
I
not.
don't mess with that. I've talked about this in previous videos. I have a very old video on my channel that got demonetized many years ago, and I was like so upset because I was like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like I didn't break the rules. I know, I understand this. And you have to crank the video because it's old. But in another room, I had the radio playing. And you can barely hear it. And this video is like 15 plus years. Like it's an old video. It doesn't matter. But the algorithm picked that up and demonetized. And it's just funny because I know what song it was too. It was by Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's very aggressive.
And back then especially, it's not as bad now, but the original company, like music label, back then, before she owned it all herself, they were litigious. So my video got demonetized. I was so heartbroken about that. But that was, again, a million years ago. Anyway, yeah. You don't mess with music on YouTube. Yeah, you have to completely remove it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts with that stuff. So that is why I don't mess with it. Okay, there we go. Boop, 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 boop. And then here we go. There you go. Oop. Okay. So we're gonna get there. So we got our little. How cute is that? How cute is that? And then, yeah, our sentiment. Okay, we're gonna add splatter first. Then we'll get to, and we'll save all this because I'm gonna probably pop a couple of these on the inside. And I'm seeing the chatter about like crafty friends, all the things. All I can say is a lot of times you can go on the big groups, you know, because there's a lot of them. Like Stamp Junkies on Facebook is a good one. There's a lot of people in that group. You can go on the big groups. It's usually okay to start a post on those ones saying like, hey, like looking for crafty friends and your location. All I want to say though is just please, please, I beg of you, do not give personal info. It's one thing to say like, you're in this state, you're in this city. That's, I think, okay. But, and I say that because there are more groups now. And I've posted about it and people just ignored me, but I was like, I came across another card making group on Facebook recently and it's massive. Like it was massive. The amount of people in it, like I think it's got over 100,000 members and something was off about it. And it took me less than 30 seconds to realize that it is run by a bunch of scammers. And I wouldn't trust anything. Like they also post, like they allow posts from like knockoff sites, etc. But like people were posting screenshots of things like, oh, they'd received an order or whatever, and they're posting photos, and it's got their full mailing address and name, and I'm just like, please don't, you know. So those big groups, again, just please be careful because scammers are everywhere. But also, and I saw that posting, and I know a lot of people do that, is people getting to know each other. And instead of, because, you know, yeah, there's usually people in your area that are also crafters, card makers, whatever. That's awesome. But we don't know. You never know. People are a little, but there's a lot of people now that'll do it over Zoom, you know, or FaceTime or different things. And they set up set times. And everyone kind of gets together and they've got their little laptops, iPads, whatever, and they craft together via Zoom or whatever. And I think that's really cool. You know, it's a way for people to get to know each other and hang out together from anywhere in the world. It's cool. And that's why I do what I do. These lives, so we can all hang out. You know, it's a little different because y'all just got this talking head to deal with, but still. So my big thing though is just please do not put like your personal info out there. Vast majority of card makers are awesome people and super kind and genuine and all things, but there are bad actors everywhere. And like I said, that one group I had come across is full of like, not cool, man. It's not cool. So yeah, there's a lot. And a lot of the different craft brands, like Geraldine posted that. But yeah, there's an Altenew educator, like people that go through the Altenew Educators program. Those ones, they have their own group. Like there's a lot. And there's people that build their own little groups. You know, they start to get to know someone and they can set up their own private groups. And, you know, as you get to know people and stuff. Because again, the vast majority are good. I want people to just be aware, because sometimes people will put personal info out there that just don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, let's add some splatter. Okay. I'm gonna tape. Oh, see this? Oh, this washi tape. It's starting to. There we go. Yeah. All this washi tape that I use, this stuff's old. I've had this stuff for a million years, but it's starting to discolor. It's starting to disintegrate. So yeah, use your washi tape. It doesn't last forever. It literally just starts to like dry up and it'll just shred, you know? So, okay. Just tape that close. And then we'll add a little bit of splatter. We'll do this. Maybe a little bit of black. Okay. Okay. And then, yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. So we're going to use my white gouache, which almost used up this whole tube, man. I need to order another one. I joked about when I first got this a couple years ago, however long it's been. I was like, this is a multiple lifetime supply for me. Wee! Yeah, no. And same with the black. The black I still have more of, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, so a little bit of white gouache. We'll add some water to it. Given my first real world experience of pandemic, it's not the time I find that I want to interact face to face with very few people. I get it. But things are shifting again, you know. We all managed to make it work, being sequestered in our homes, and that's where the live streaming, Zoom, et cetera, which is awesome. Love it. Love the technology. Love the ability that we can all connect. But it has now shifted even further, and people need that, like, human contact, you know, human interaction. And yeah, it's just a little harder, and everyone has become more socially just nope. And trust me, I get it. I barely leave. I'll go weeks at a time without leaving my house. Does wonders for my mental health, y'all. But yeah, sometimes interacting with other humans sucks. But when it's people that are on sort of the same wavelength, you know, it's like, oh, you like the same thing, you like the same hobby or whatever. And it's like, at least you have that connection to start with. And then you can go from there. Because usually there's more. And like I said, most card makers are pretty decent people. So, yeah. Okay. So there was the white gouache and just, you know, just a little bit of splatter. Let me close that. Gotta wipe this up. And then, I love that sign of yours. So funny what people complain about. Oh, yes. One of my fabulous subscribers sent me that magnet after I started a war. Wasn't gonna, but the person went a little bit over the edge, and a lot bit over the edge, over me saying splatter. And then they went and attacked a whole bunch of other makers in the space, and it turned into a lot of needless insanity. And it made me very angry because people do not deserve to be called names and ridiculed and all of that, especially over the difference between splatter and spatter. Y'all, this is not a crime scene. You know, you want to get into like specific terminology for that kind of stuff, it has a place. But paper, gouache, paint, ink, whatever, it ain't that deep. So, yeah. Once the name calling and ugliness started and everything else, that's when I started my little war. And now it is splatter forevermore, as far as I'm concerned, because I'm that petty. And then some of y'all got on the same boat with me, and I got sent these magnets. And then Geraldine, who's in the chat, I've shown this before, and I love it. I keep it up to hold on my brushes. She got this for me. And I love it. I love it. So it sits front and center right in front of my face here, holding all my favorite brushes. You know, again, I'm not for everyone. I'm not for everyone. I am just chaos incarnate. But yeah. Anyway. Boop. This is what I call a demure amount of black splatter. Not a ton. Just a bit. Just a bit. Yep. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Like, I get it. I do get it. There are certain things where the semantics of it all, pronunciation, etc. However, some things too, depending on what it is and what the situation is, what the word is, vernacular, different cultures, different parts of the world. People sometimes will comment on my Canadian accent, which I find, and not in a bad way, it's just, I don't hear it, but I get it, you know? So people pronounce things differently. People say things differently. A lot of the times, it doesn't matter. And then there's some things where it's like, yeah, you know, it's not guillotine, it's guillotine. Need to bring those back. But, you know, paper trimmer, guillotine. That's how you pronounce it. But is it the end of the world if someone calls it a guillotine? No, it's not the end of the world. Like, still keeps going. We're still good. So anyway, it's things like that. And yeah, I've never felt the need to start a war over people mispronouncing, like, guillotine. Whatever. Garage. Yeah. I guess, my Canadian accent when I said something about, like, me and my garage, and people laughed at me, and I was like, okay. Like, I guess I said it in a really funny way when I was at that event. Who knows, man? It is what it is. But, yeah. There's our splatter. So we've got that. And then, guillotine is a French word. Oh, the French are good with the guillotines, you know. Anyway. One of my favorite paper cutters, the Tim Holtz guillotine. So, yeah. And then, okay, but I was like, I got myself distracted. Eat the rich. Okay. I've got, this is the Love You. I think it's just called Love You. I lost my little label. I lost everything. I've lost my mind. I have lost my mind. I don't know where the packaging went, but it's linked. It's linked in the supplies. It came with the April release. I'm not a native English speaker. Can't pronounce that word for the period. Oh, guillotine. Yeah, it's not an easy word to pronounce. And that's just it. There, especially for a lot of people, there's certain phrases or certain words that are difficult to pronounce. And for those that make content or are online and are not native English speakers or come from different parts of the world with very, very heavier, like, accents, and it makes things difficult. It just is what it is. But y'all, I rail against this because I've had fellow makers over the years. The stuff people say to them, because it's like, I can't understand you. And it's like, they're speaking with an accent. Like, it's legible. Just pay attention. It's not the end of the world. You know, and things don't need to be exact. Because again, it's paper. You know, it's different when it's like, if you are a neurosurgeon teaching residents or something, you know, where it literally is life and death sort of stuff. Then it really matters how you are pronouncing things, you know? You're an engineer and you're an astrophysicist, or, you know, you're dealing with the jet fuel and you want to make sure things go in the proper spot. Like, those are the times that pronunciation and using the proper words and, you know, because it saves lives. But with all this stuff, it's paper. It's not the end of the world. You know, you mispronounce a crafting tool or a color or whatever, not a big deal. So, yeah. And yes, people get very heated. And I get it. I get annoyed sometimes with some things I'll hear, but I move on really quickly after it. It's like, I forget about it 5 minutes later because it just don't matter. But yeah. there's my little TED talk on pronunciation in the card making world. Doop, 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 doop. There we go. And I've got a little, so I die cut the words. I use this was Carnation cardstock, which I think this one was discontinued, but again, I've got a pile of it that I want to use up. And any pretty pink would do. So I adhered 2 layers of this die cut together. And then hey, it's our Quebecois peeps, yeah. yeah. Like all the different accents, all the different ways to pronounce things, you know, it's a good thing. All the variety. Like, none of it is the end of the world. There we go. There we go. Okay. I learned recently that Facebook is a massive platform that gathers information from us. Yep. To help build algorithms for keeping us there and for selling us, etc., which is why it seems free. Yes, nothing is free on the internet. Information, data, especially personal data, premium. It's all about keeping you on the platform. It's all about keeping you engaged. It's all about selling stuff. So yeah, Meta is a massive platform with really rotten algorithms. I only use Facebook. 99% of my usage is just for like the card making and crafty groups that I'm in and my own business page, etc. I don't even bother really engaging with it on a personal level, except for every once in a while when I feel the need to take a stand and go on a rant. But the rest of it, I just stick to the crafty stuff because, yeah, most social media now especially it's a hell site, you know? But there's good pockets, and that's what I choose. I block the stuff that I don't need in my feed, and I engage with the good stuff, and I take everything with a grain of salt because, yeah, there's always something somewhere trying to sell you stuff. There we go. And I'm very well aware of the irony, as that is my job. Buy these products, use my affiliate links. I get it. Okay. So I adhered the 2 layers together. The outline I die cut from vellum. I just use my die pick when I've got a little too much glue on there. In Australia, each of our states has different words or things. Yep. I have Newfoundlander friends. Oh, the Newfies. I like the Newfies. I used to, when I was a kid, because one of my parents, their job involved working in the oil fields, and we had a lot of people from Newfoundland. And especially for me as a kid, that was like a foreign accent. And yeah, to this day I get a kick out of it. It's a very, very distinct accent. There we go. Boop, boop. But yeah. And there. Facebook has too many ads. You can actually change that. Facebook does it and Instagram does it because Instagram is owned now by Meta. Depending on what device you're using, like I can show you guys this. When you're on Instagram, you can go to, how did I do this? I forget now with Instagram how I can change it to see just my, you can change it so you just see your friends' feeds versus like what the algorithm wants to show you. I forget with Instagram how I even do that because I don't even go on Instagram much anymore, y'all, because it's frustrating. Nope, that was, I don't remember. Someone might be able to say how it works on Instagram because I don't remember how I did it. Nope. Oh, that's Threads. I don't remember with Instagram. With Facebook, though, when you're in it, with Facebook, when you're in Facebook, you scroll down to the very bottom. If you're on your phone and if you hit friends, I'm not sure how it works on a mobile device or anything, and I'm on an iPhone, but yeah, if the little friends icon, so I hit that, then my feed is just all my friends' posts. So then you can kind of avoid some of the crap. You're supposed to be able to do that on Instagram as well, but I think they might have moved it. I don't know. Anyway, shown this a million times with sentiments, and I keep getting distracted. I adhered the 2 layers. I missed a little spot. I adhered the 2 layers of the cardstock die cuts together, and then I glued them to the vellum outline. And I'm just, right this second, I'm just adding a little bit of glue because I missed adding some right along the bottom and it's annoying me. Okay, there we go. So I adhered the 2 layers together. And then I adhered it to the vellum outline. And then that 3rd die cut layer, I adhered to the back. And the reason I do that, and again, this was a tip I picked up years ago, and I don't remember who it was I picked it up from. I wish I did. I know I said it in one of my original videos, like, again, years ago. It's been years. Anyway, the point of it is because glue shows through vellum. Like, vellum is transparent. Glue shows through it. It's not pretty. And when I just, like, a die like this, if I just stacked it all, then to adhere it, I would have had to carefully try and add glue, like, behind the cardstock word so that it doesn't go past. And especially, like, narrow areas like this, the glue might most likely ooze out a bit, and then you can see it, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. It's ugly. So instead, adding the cardstock die cut to the back lines up perfectly. And if you want, you can stack more layers if you really want to build up the dimension. I usually only do 1, 2 max because I use heavyweight cardstock anyway. And then now I can just put glue on this cardstock, not touch the vellum at all. And plus it makes the vellum float that little smidge. So yeah, so there, we've got that, like that. And then, let's see. Oh, I can do that with my screen. Sorry, I was, sorry, I'm just going back through the, oh yeah, the Facebook ads, yeah. My kid decided to purchase a digital drawing pad. I've been getting ads for that too. Oh yeah. It's kind of a joke, but it's also true in a sense that our devices listen to us. They 100% do. Everything we do. Everything you type in, you search for, you purchase, etc. Your purchasing history, that's some good data. They like that a lot. Companies compile that and they sell it to others because the more they can sell you, the more they can sell you. Anyway. Yeah. So, the joys. But I try and give people heads up about things because, yeah, protect your personal information. Take everything with a grain of salt. Social media is technically a hellscape, but there are good pockets with good people in them. And crafting ones are one of the good ones. Okay. We've got this. Haven't adhered this yet because I need something on the inside. I was going to do... Love you. Today's frame. Ooh, I like that. I like these sentiments. This is the little picture perfect. It's just a little mini. Let's show up better. It's just a little mini set. This one comes in that bundle that I have linked in the supplies. I think this little set is part of it, but it is available on its own as well. But this set can come in a bundle that I've linked that has the stencil set and I think the stamp frame set. I'm not even sure, but it's all linked. The visuals plus everything else. I unplugged our Google Home, threw it in the back of the cabinet. It started knowing what we did before we did it. Oh yeah, we don't have any of those. It was kind of a joke, but also totally true. Anyone who knows anyone that works in tech, the vast majority of them do not have smart devices. They don't subscribe to them. They don't want them in their homes. Unpaid intern works in tech. We don't have those things in our house because one, they're susceptible to being hacked, and also they're annoying. Yeah. They are annoying. We do not need to be listened in on because they do. And also things like smart thermostats. You can control all these things from your phone while you're away. Yeah, to a degree, but then they all break. Like, what was that one that happened recently?
Which one?
When everything went down and then people's like smart beds weren't working and...
Oh, that was the...
Was it the Google outage?
No, that was the Amazon Web Services outage they named their data centers like US East 1 is their biggest one.
Yeah, the services outage. Yeah, that happened recently and it messed up so many... Like, people had smart beds. So many weird things,
This whole phone home to check in with stuff is just it's so awful.
Oh, everything is kind of nuts.
When my car wanted to do a software update, I yelled at it.
Oh, yeah. Yep, all of it. And if y'all haven't watched the show Silicon Valley, you should. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. But when not Jin Yang, it was the other dude. When Guilfoyle hacked the smart fridges. Because, yeah, it was funny, but also true. Anyway, this little, yeah, exactly. The smarter it is, the less control you have over it. Truth. Like, analog, y'all. Analog, all the things. Convenience has its place, but analog is just easier, Okay, we've got the sentiment, and then I've got schmutz everywhere. I was going to plan on adding... because then we could stick that. Boop. We could stick that in there, and we could use, because these guys are really cute too. I'm missing, there it is. I was like, I'm missing a frame. Not the stereotypical, I've been distracted trying to hear the Canadian Amy's accent. Some people can hear it. I just hear a North American accent. Not the stereotypical accent Canadians are portrayed with in movies and TV. Yeah, most of us don't sound like that. Oh, eh? I'm so sorry. Yeah, most of us don't talk like that.
Be from the coast for that sort of
kind of like, and Letterkenny was really bad for that, but that's like rural. That is very rural Northern Ontario, but also very exaggerated. Very few people sound like that. Like, most Canadians are like, we don't talk like that,
If you ever watched,
but yeah, some do.
Brent Butt's show, what the heck was that?
Oh, Corner Gas.
Yeah, Corner Gas. We all sound like that.
Yeah, Corner Gas, because that was filmed in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
And it was pretty typical. It wasn't like a super exaggerated Canadian accent. But Letterkenny, very exaggerated Canadian accent and really funny. I've only seen bits and pieces of that, but it's hilarious. Totally inappropriate, but funny. And then the other one is Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
And that one is, Moira's accent, but that was her own special, unique accent. Oh, Catherine O'Hara. R.I.P. phenomenal actress. Anyway, that accent was unique to her because she just was who she was, and I loved him. The bebe. Anyway, okay. I'm going to add these to the inside, because I wasn't going to let them go to waste. So we'll put this little sentiment on the inside. Yeah. I thought Minnesota people thought, well, like Minnesota, like some of the northern states, because sometimes there'll be clips from people and it's like they sound similar to us.
They do.
Yes, it is sort of a North American thing, but regions, it's interesting. It's always interesting. But yeah, the way they portray Canadians on TV, with that very exaggerated accent, most don't really sound like that. There's a few. Every once in a while. And it amuses us, too, when you run into someone that actually kind of talks like that. And it's like, okay. And unlike how South Park depicts us, our heads are all one piece as well. That one amuses me. I love it. I love it. In fact, I sent that meme to you that was posted about the Canadian... Do I still have that on my phone? The Canadian astronaut meme. That one made me laugh. Ah, poo, I already deleted it. Maybe I still have it on here. Because some of y'all would get it. Not that one, not that one. I send you a lot of stuff, don't I?
You do send me a lot.
I send you so much stuff. There it is. Yeah, it was like, congrats to astronaut Jeremy Hansen, who's making history as the first Canadian to travel to the moon on the Artemis 2 mission. And it was... It made me laugh. It made me laugh. And it's like, yep, accurate. Okay, so stand at the inside, y'all. I'm like all over the place. I watched The Rip recently. Oh yeah, we watched that too. Ben's yeah, he exaggerated, but also Ben Affleck, yeah. He's got a heavy Boston accent, but he plays it up depending on like the movie he's doing, especially like it was very, Boston cop style, even though, yeah, it was set in Florida. It was a decent movie. Anyway. I got distracted. Oh, it's going do. Oh yeah, it's still going on. Yeah, we don't use WhatsApp. I don't like that one. And always disclaimer: I will never contact anyone. That one hasn't happened for a while, but there used to be every once in a while like a spammer would pop out of the woodwork and like start replying to comments on my social media and being like impersonating me and being like, oh, connect with me on WhatsApp or wherever. And I will not contact anyone. I will not contact anyone. I will not tell you that, a relative has passed and you're going to inherit a bunch of money. Like, that you're winning a ton of crafty supplies or like, I will not reach out to people. And any of that. Ever. Where's my washi tape? I lost it. Literally. It's gone. Nope, there it is. Okay. Oh, my goodness. There we go. Okay. And then, so we'll just tape the frames together because it's just a convenience thing. Boop. Like that. And then this one. Like this. Bob and Doug McKenzie and Strange Fruit. Yeah, no. No. There we go. Okay. We are getting very close to the end. I would have been done this sooner, but one, talked about the release and postage collage and grip mats and blah 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 at the beginning, and then all the distractions, which are fun. So it's all good. Put that there. If we put that one like that, so I still have space to write things. That'll be fine. So we can stick some glue. Yep. Stick some glue on here. Press that into place. Like that. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. Boop. Mm-hmm. Okay. There we go. And then I just want to make sure I don't want to hang off too much. Yeah, because you still got to be able to see that puppy dog and the kitty cat. So adhere those guys. There we go. No, I'm glad you guys enjoy it. Sometimes I'm in an extra chatty mood. Other times, not so much. Just depends. Need a little bit more glue. I can just see it. There we go. There we go. There we go. And I was like, where are my scissors? So then we can just like that. Yep. And then this one. Like that. And like that. So then we have that. So there's the inside. Oh, see, and that guy. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. It's fine. So there was the inside. Can just reinforce this fold a little bit. And then we've got this sentiment. And then do I want to add that? Hope your day is... Oh, yeah. These are just the little... I don't have these linked, but they're in the new... They're linked in the new release. They're the little sub-sentiments, picture perfect die cuts. Waffle does generally a set of these with every release. And it just goes with whatever the theme is. And yeah, they're pre-printed. And then they're just... You just got to pop them apart. Like that. Yeah. And then what I would do, because it's printed on white cardstock, so then I would just take a block marker. Any block marker will work for this. But just take a block marker and just run it. You could also use just a blocking pad, like whatever. And just run it along those edges. And that just covers up that exposed white cardstock. There we go. And it just gives it that little extra finishing bit. So that. And then for this, because this is basically going to be suspended between these frames, I am going to add a little bit of foam tape, which normally I don't do this because I've talked about this. I am too lazy to do stuff like this, but like I said, this is suspended a little bit, so I'm just going to take little strips of the foam tape. Because, yeah, that'll help kind of even things out a little bit so it doesn't sag. I'm not sure. I would almost think, because they almost look like they'd be toner printed because, you know, they got that shine, but I'm honestly not sure. You would have to ask Waffle Flower, because I'm not positive if those are, if they are foilable or not. I don't really mess with the toner foil stuff, like hardly ever. I struggle with that kind of stuff, so I just don't do it. Okay. Is that going to be enough? Most likely. Stick one right there too. I don't need to get super technical with this. I just wanted enough. Just needed enough, again, to keep it from getting saggy. You don't want any saggy cards or elements. So got that. There we go. One more little tiny bit and we're good. That. Stick that one right there. Boop. And right there. Good enough. Okay. So those will even out so it doesn't sag in the middle. And then, yeah, you don't want saggy sentiments. That wouldn't be fun. Peel off these little bits. There we go. And then, that's what I was talking about earlier. I can put liquid glue just on the cardstock. And so it's not touching the vellum at all. And there we go. I think that's all we'll need for the liquid glue as well. Ooh, I could stick a little bit right there. Boop, boop. There we go. Okay. So now that I'm done fiddling with all that, so got our sentiment. Lovely. And then that can be suspended right there, which is actually kind of perfect. This will fit. Like that. Stick those right in the middle. So good. So good. So while I'm doing this, you can pick a winner.
All right.
Which, that was the other disclaimer I forgot at the very beginning. Still haven't mailed anything out. I will get to it. After Tuesday. Last month derailed literally my entire life when I was so sick. And last thing on my mind was getting the winners mailed out. But it's been piling up because I'm like however many months behind now. They will get mailed out. Okay, I like that. So, boop, boop, boop. A little bit of glue. A little bit of glue. And then I can adhere that. Into place. Like that. Love it. Do I want to add stickles? I kind of want to add stickles. Funny enough, I had stickles on the supply list and then I removed it because I was like, I'm not gonna add stickles, and now I kind of want to. So I'm gonna. There we go. Do I want to add crystal? No. Stardust, diamond. Let's do unicorns. Let's do unicorn stickles. And I'll be able to add that link on my own. Okay. Yep. So we'll add a little bit of stickles just to give it that little extra something. So we'll use it. Actually, I'll even add a little bit to the frames, because why not? Why not? Just a bit. Just to enhance. And I already managed to clog it. Good job, Amy. Get out of there. This is why I keep pins in a pin cushion next to me. Oop, there we go. So we can add. And if you add stickles really thin and you don't glop it on, you can glop it on if you want, you know. Do whatever you want. Again, it's just paper. But if you glop it on, it will take significantly longer to dry. If you apply it really thin, it can dry quite quickly. It just depends. So I'll add a little bit. We can add some here to the flower centers. Add some as little details. And stickles can and will at times, it can alter when you apply it over a water reactive ink. It does just depend. It'll depend on the ink. It'll depend on how long the ink is dried, the type of ink, like just all the different things. And it will also depend on how much you apply. Like if you apply it really, really thick, the longer it takes to dry, the more it can absorb whatever's underneath, and that can cause, a change in the color. It just varies, and things like reds, oranges, that sort of a thing, those are usually a lot more susceptible, because they're just like fugitive colors, but that'll just give it a little extra something. And then she'll get a little bit. She'll get some sparkle on her little like outfit too, because she's fancy like that. So we'll just add a little bit, and then we can add some to the frame. Just little bits. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just little bits of sparkle, like so, like that. I'll even add a little bit to the sentiment, because who doesn't love a glittery little sentiment? So we can just scribble a bit here and there, like so. Like that. Again, I'm applying it super thin, so for me this will dry in about 15 minutes. But if you apply it thick, just plan to set it aside, let it dry overnight. Got a little bit of that. And then, a bit there, and there. Add a little bit to the water line. There we go. Just give it that little extra something. Yeah, that's good. So, I will let that dry. I will zoom in. My hair's a mess. Oh well. And that, my friends, is our finished card with a bit of sparkle and splatter and texture and stenciling and all the things. All the things. This was a really fun little set. This was so fun. It worked.
It worked.
The card worked. The live stream worked. Where's my little... There we go. Oh, and then, yeah, reminder before we get to the last little bit. A little gift of purchase, which, yeah, it's just that little die set. So if you purchase $25 or more from the Waffle Flower April release, you get that little square postage die in the image of the little daffodils. That stencil is in the April release, and it's sized to fit that little freebie. And then it's on the Waffle Flower website with that little wafer die, which will be available. Like, it's available to purchase. You don't like have to get it, like, make a larger purchase, whatever. And then for the next year, Waffle Flower is going to release more little stencils to coordinate with that, which is super cute. So there was that. There's our finished card. Who will I be mailing this to when I actually get all the cards mailed out?
The winner is Michelle in Georgia.
Michelle in Georgia. Yeah. Once I get some other things off my plate, I will get these mailed. I'm so behind. Wah. But I'll get to it. I haven't forgot. Everything's labeled, and I just need to get things done. So many things. And then I'm going to let this... Oh, the other thing, before you go, once this is dry, when I do the photos, because, I do the photos for my social media, when I do the photos for this and I put this on my Instagram, speaking of Instagram, when this goes on my Instagram, there will be a giveaway attached to this, the post for this card. You won't be able to miss it because I've got a graphic, everything else. Waffle Flower, with the new releases, I've been doing this for a while now, they give away a $20 gift card. And I do that on my Instagram. It's the easiest way to do it. So... yeah, that'll go up a little later today once everything's dry and I take the photos and edit and blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, I'll have that little giveaway on my Instagram. And then the card itself will get mailed out. When I get things mailed out, you're just waiting so you can wave and then run away. Thank you to the disembodied hand. He was just like waiting off camera. That's funny. Yeah. Once he's done, he's done. He's got other things to deal with. So thank you to the unpaid intern. I still find that hilarious that you changed your username. It's funny.
I just wish the unpaid intern was available.
I guess you're going to need to find whoever it is.
I will.
And just...
take it.
Yeah, just take it. Oh my goodness. I know, I love daffodils. I don't even know if daffodils grow up here. I'm not sure if they do. Our zone, it gets very cold. There's still snow on the ground. It's starting to warm up here. It's still a little chilly. It was chilly when I first started this live, but I sweat when I'm live because I stress myself out. But yeah. I know. He helps a lot. It's just, it's always funny to me. Like when his job is done, he does his little wave and he's gone. Like, he's done. He's done. And I'm like, let's talk longer. Anyway. I have a mess. I have a mess to clean up. Yeah. I have a mess to clean up. I have 5 million things I need to get done. I will do the photos and the social medias. And then specifically Instagram. My Instagram is linked in the description box below. It's linked below all my videos. And there'll be a little giveaway attached to that. And then just stay tuned. I'll have other videos, of course, coming this week. I've been planning on doing bonus lives. I was supposed to do bonus lives last month, and it obviously never happened because I was so sick. So, hoping to do them at some point. I'm not even sure. right now I've got 5 million other things that I am trying to accomplish. So I'll be doing that behind the scenes. But I appreciate y'all that tuned in today. This was fun. I was, no joke, I was a mess before I started because, yeah, I started pulling out products and, you know, specifically the postage collage stuff from Waffle Flower. And then in my head, of course, I was like, I need to organize all this, which I do. I do need to organize it, but maybe not 20 minutes before I go live. So, yeah, I need to organize it all. And for those that might have missed at the beginning, I talked about that. Those that either don't know or just aren't super familiar with the postage collage, if you check out the Waffle Flower April release, I've got it linked below because he's gone. He can't put it in the chat. If you check out the release and just scroll down, there's 2 different free downloads. One of them is, let me go back. No. There we go. One of them is it says year 3, and it's the postage collage checklist for year 3, and they've got like free downloads that you can print off, and it lists like all of the products in the, yeah, it's all organized. So then people can keep track because there's a lot. So there's that one, and that's just a freebie. And then if you scroll down even further in the release, there's another one that says postage collage themed stencil idea sheets, which that one's really cool too. I'm not sure how many pages. There's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's like 15 pages. And it's got sample layouts, suggested ink colors. Oh, this PDF covers releases from May 2020 to June 2026. Are there sneak peeks in this? Okay, that one's already been released. Seen it. That one's been released. That one's been released. Yep. I'm curious because some of the stuff, y'all, wouldn't even know. Is there? That one's been released. That one's been released. That one. That's the current one. That one's been released now. That one's been released. Ooh, there's a couple sneak peeks in that. Oh, I'm already excited. Oh, I'm already excited for those. Ooh, I like that one. Oh, yeah, there's sneak peeks in there, y'all. Oh, those are fun. I'm excited. So there's a hint to that would be, so this is April, so May and June releases. They're with postage collage. There's some sneakies. There's some sneakies. Yeah, Lisa. Yeah, that actually just, I was like, I like sneak peeks just like the rest of y'all. And now I'm just like, can't wait. I'm excited. Those are fun. So, but also the whole point of it is the color references and color ideas. Because like I've always said with any of this, like anything really, but with postage collage, it's on the packaging and with the listing, it'll have like this is like as is basic, whatever. And sometimes it'll even be on the stencils themselves. It'll say like green, yellow, whatever. I highly recommend, at least the first time you use any of them, to just like follow the directions. Use the colors they tell you to use and just go, and then go from there. Because it's like, it just, for me especially, it always helps to see it, you know? So it's like, I do what they tell me. And so I go through it. And then once I've done, it's like, okay, I get where this is supposed to go, where this is supposed to go. Oh, and then the next time I use it, it's like, oh, well, I'll use pink instead, or I'm going to switch up this color, or I'm going to do this, you know? And then things like their little freebie downloads. So many of the brands do that kind of stuff now, like giving extra inspiration and ideas. And of course, there's all the stuff too of all the other makers. Like if you're ever stuck on an idea with a product, go to that brand, whether it's theirs on their specific website or on the other websites that carry it. So like Simon Says Stamp, Scrapbook.com, etc. And find the product listing. That specific, whatever it is you're looking at. And 99% of the time, there will be inspiration with it. You know, you just scroll down or click over or whatever, and it'll be like stuff from other makers, videos, photos, etc. for ideas and inspiration. That's why all of us do what we do as a job. And there's a lot. And it's always fascinating too to see other takes on different products. That's why I love it. Because it's like we all can have the same thing and come out with a completely different end result. You know, different colors, different layouts, different whatever. And that's the beauty of it all. So I missed whatever you guys were talking about. Okay. Lilacs and honeysuckle. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if we get daffodils up here because it's cold. We do get lilacs. It's a brief window. And lilacs here don't bloom till late May, June, generally in June. It varies because it depends on the type and whether or not like older lilacs. Like I have one little lilac shrub in the front that I planted. I'm still so bitter about that one because it was supposed to be yellow, a yellow lilac, and it's supposed to be a dwarf shrub, so it's not actually supposed to get very big. And I've had it now, I established it, goodness, like 3 years ago. This might be its 4th year. I'm not sure. It bloomed last year, and I left it. I should have snipped it off because, you know, to keep it growing, but I was curious, and it's white. But maybe it'll be yellow when it gets. But I was like, did I get ripped off? Because it was supposed to be a hybrid, and you know, it was supposed to be yellow, and I was like, yellow lilacs, here for it. Still annoyed by that, but yeah, I do love lilacs and honeysuckle. I have a little honeysuckle vine that I started growing, and we'll see. Because I also started growing hops because I wanted it for like more of a privacy because we put up some. Like fencing basically, and hops, once they get established, those things take over everything in sight. So I've been ripping them out. I knew I would have to, but I couldn't help myself. But yeah, they will run roughshod over everything. But yeah, I did plant some honeysuckle and he came back last year. I don't have that much of a green thumb, but I'm learning. So anyway, okay. We don't get to deal with much yet because, like I said, it is still winter here. We don't get to start doing stuff till mid to late May in Saskatchewan. We get a very, very short window. But that's what it's like living in the north. But anywho, I appreciate you all. I will do the photos. Stay tuned. Those that do follow me on Instagram, stay tuned. This will go up on Instagram with a little giveaway. And then I'll be back with more videos. I have a literal disaster to clean up, but I had fun, so it's always worth it. And then Alta News April release is later this week. So I will be having videos and a giveaway of some sort attached to that. That's a little later. Alta News. And that's kind of it. I plan on doing, like I said, bonus lives. I'm just not sure when. It'll be kind of random, and I'll try to give everyone a heads up. And then other videos, and I have no idea what else. Honestly, y'all, it is what it is. But I'm going to go. I believe the yellow ones are fairly pale. Maybe it'll get more buttermilk in color. Yeah, my little yellow lilac, I'm not giving up on him yet. Because what I got last year, it was a very sparse little bit of blooms. So I was like, once he's a little more established, we'll see. We'll see if it actually, because the way it was advertised to me too, though, it was very yellow. And I was like, I have never seen a yellow lilac. Like, this is super cool. But we'll just see, you know? Because, yeah, I don't have a very much of a green thumb. And I'm very limited here in the suburbs. We don't have a lot of space and there's not much anything. But I do love lilacs. And I would love if it grew. I'm more happy anyway that he keeps coming back, like that he lives. Because, yeah, with our crazy winters and how cold it gets here, a lot of stuff just gets killed when we hit, negative 50. So I'm always happy when it gets a little late, like when it gets into May. I spend a ridiculous amount of time like analyzing all the areas where I've planted things, like just waiting for the little green shoots to start coming up, all of it. Like Chris will come, he's like, where are you? And he'll find me outside just like looking, for signs of life. So it is what it is. I didn't know there was such a thing as yellow lilacs. Yeah, there's yellow ones. And there's also, this is one thing I do actually know, because actually it was Gina K. Yeah, Gina K and I were talking about lilacs. I think this was last year. It was spring, whenever. And she was saying how she was so sad that, because you only get that brief little bit. Lilacs, they bloom and then they're done for the year. Nowadays, though, there's hybridized ones that are called bloomerangs. And I think that's literally trademarked. Those lilacs bloom more than once. So they are out there. I've seen them. I haven't been able to get any because they generally up here, the ones that have been hybridized to withstand our climate, the greenhouses in places don't get that many in, and they almost always sell out. Like I have been trying to get my hands on a pink bloomerang because I would like to plant it in the back, because pink lilacs as well, I love them. I love all of them. The white ones are beautiful, purple ones, but pink ones and yellow. But yeah, bloomerang. They are pretty cool, and apparently they bloom several times. So I would like to get my hands on one, and then hopefully it will live and then do the things. So I had a whole moving truck just for my plants. Yeah, dwarf lilacs. Yeah. Like, I would be very tempted to take some of my plants with me, because they've been with me and I have grown them. And if they can survive me and my black thumb, as well as the weird like drainage issues we have here and all the kind of stuff, like, yeah. Anyway, yeah, if you love lilacs and you want more of them and you want them to bloom more, look into the bloomerangs. I haven't really talked to anyone that actually has them, like that has established them, but they do exist. They do exist. So, anywho, that's it from me. I'm going to go. Thank you all for hanging out with me today, and those on the replay. I appreciate all of you. And I am going to clean up my mess, do the photos, blah, 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 blah. And then I will see you all very soon in another video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!